Nuggets are all tied up after the first two games of their series. Jokic helped his team stage a huge comeback in Game 1, while SGA and the Thunder had their way in a Game 2 blowout. Now the two superstars will battle it out tonight for control of the series in a pivotal Game 3. Wendy, we begin with you. Jokic, SGA. Who needs Game 3 more?
I think it's Jokic, because I think the position that you want the Thunder in this series is to feel a little pinch, a little heat. Over the last couple of years, the Thunder have basically been untouchable, but the times where they've struggled is when they've been down. This happened last year against the Mavericks, and they felt a little bit of pressure in Game 1 here in this series against the Nuggets, and they didn't perform well. I think I've been on the Oklahoma City's winning the West train for 3-4 months, but I do think that's the position you want him in. You want him uncomfortable, and the game the other night, where they got blown out, I think they made a strategic decision. Jokic fouled himself out. He basically was like, I'm done in the third quarter of that game. They had played 5 games in 9 days, including a Game 7. I think Denver was tired. They get to rest. They get to come home. This gives them an opportunity to put their best foot forward. If the Thunder win and get home court advantage back, I think that gets major momentum. Big game needed from Jokic tonight.
Wendy, I'm with you. I'm going to go with Jokic. First off, it feels like, well, it should be. They should be down 0-2. Like OKC should be up 2-0. I mean, if Dagnall makes some of the right plays down the stretch in Game 1, it would have been a different scenario if they secured that game. But they just didn't get beat up in Game 2. They got smacked. That was a 43-point victory. I mean, damn. That's a lot of points. And by the way, Jokic was minus 36. That's his worst
Record.
plus minus
Worse.
of his career.
Yep.
Of his career. So I understand fouling out. I understand the amount of games and the amount of days. But SGA has been living up to it. He balled out last game. He balled out Game 1 too. I think in order to secure home court advantage, I want to see Jokic, who needs Game 3 more for this series to continue, considering the way the first 2 games went.
I don't disagree with y'all, but for the sake of this discussion, let me go in a different direction, because everything y'all said is on point. And I would just be adding to that. No need. Let me go in a different direction. What if the Nuggets win Game 3? Then all of a sudden, everything that you just said about what Game 1 and 2 was supposed to be, meaning OKC needing to be up 2-0, instead of being up 2-0, you down 2-1, going into Game 4, the aura of invincibility that we've been talking about with OKC as it pertained to the Western Conference all of a sudden gets a bit diluted to some degree. We see the level of dominance. The Thunder have outscored the Nuggets 59-19 in points off turnovers in the first 2 games, 53-29 in fast break points over the first 2 games. But the series is still tied 1-1. And we saw Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein basically, no matter how big you are, no matter how good you are, Jokic showed you who the hell he was in Game 1. With 42 and 22, we get what he's bringing to the table. Right now, if you're the Nuggets, the big problem is that your best shooter is Russell Westbrook, who's shooting 50% from the field. And Nikola Jokic is at 47%. Everybody else, Jamal Murray's at 40%. Gordon's at 37%. Braun is at 36%. Michael Porter Jr. is shooting 17% in this series. It's unacceptable. So if you find yourself continue to look that way, but you up 2-1 on OKC, and they got to go into that Game 4, basically trying to avoid being in a 3-1 hole. That could make things very interesting, which is far more interesting than we anticipated. And that is why I would say, you know what? Jokic and those guys, they didn't expect, you could if you go into a Game 4 down 2-1 and you could tie the series, okay, that's plausible. OKC potentially being down 3-1? Oh, no. Nobody anticipated that. Let's go with SGA and OKC in terms of who needs Game 3 more.
Yeah, I agree. And on top of that, the MVP race between these two is going to get real close to the situation we had 2 years ago when Embiid beats out Jokic and then Embiid flames out of the playoffs when Jokic goes on to win the title. Like, SGA needs to assert the dominance of the MVP in the series. Go into Denver, take out a team that's out of gas, having played 7 games, playing one guy off the bench essentially in Russell Westbrook, and then from there, show that you're the deeper team. Deep breath. Abrupt transition. The Celtics, shockingly bad performance so far. still has someone here saying Game 3 is a must-win for the Knicks. Major disagreement ahead. Plus, Draymond Green drawing a lot of attention for his post-game comments following his 5th technical foul in these playoffs. We react as First Take rolls on.